You understand my question? I'm saying that we are very good people. Eh? Even as a young kid, I was a good person. Why did I put that shoes? I'm not the evil person, by the way. Very jolly kid, actually. A little bit naughty, maybe. But I tell you the problem we're having. There's a problem, but not so much of a problem. It's a biological problem. I read a book about the brain. They say that when we have adrenaline kicking in, when there's a stress, when there's a danger, for survival purposes, purely for survival purposes, the brain is on our side if it comes to survival. What it does when there's a disappointment and irritation, what it does, it suppresses one part of the brain which is rational. So it suppresses it and it becomes irrational. You say switch on and off, instead of being rational, now it's irrational. That means whatever you do to me, now I'm no longer rational, I'm irrational. First thing, the way I'm going to communicate to you, even when I'm close to you like this, I'm going to shout at you as if you are in Singapore and Malaysia. You know how people talk to each other when they get angry? You like this. It's amazing. So we cannot even know the distance between us. We think that when I talk to you, you won't hear me. That's why I shout to you, so that you can hear me. So we are irrational about the distance. We are irrational even that you are our friend. We forget that we've been friends for 30 years, 20 years, 10 years. We've been friends. We forget completely. We become irrational. Autopilot. Now, once we relax after maybe one day or maybe after 40 minutes, when we go back to the rational mode, we are no longer irrational. Ah, wow. You look at the time when we are dating, not as a monk, but I'm talking about. We start looking at our lovely moments, how we shared good things and good moments. We come back to sanity. So that means this anger business actually is not good in a way, because it really put us into problems. For survival purposes, it's fine. Because you better see, if you go to Africa and you know that there's lions, you better see, when you're in Africa, after seeing grass just doing like this, you think it's a lion, and you run into your room. That's good, because the brain doesn't want you to get injured. My sister there came to Uganda last time, Sister Catherine. I don't know what thoughts you had when you were coming to Uganda. Can you share with us? I mean, this talk is fun. Please share with us a little bit. Tell me exactly whether it was a rational thought or irrational. Please. Here you go. Please, Brother Rudy. Yes. Tell us. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
I shouldn't share with you. Uganda. Okay, when I was in Uganda, before going there, we are supposed to have plenty 10 over shots of a jab in Tan Tock Seng. And this jab is for malaria, for tetanus, for even yellow fever, 10 shots. They recommended 10 shots. So even for malaria. And before going there, we have a lot of stories. We heard a lot of stories about Uganda, how unsafe it is when you go walk onto the streets. You will get marked. You will get, when you sleep at night, you will get mosquito bites, and then you will get malaria, and then you will get, when you get bitten by the dogs, you will get tetanus, you know, all those things outside. And while doing the meditation, instead of sitting down there in meditation, everything comes into my mind. Everything. Everything. Until at one stage, I was at night sitting in meditation, in the meditation hall. I start to see a lot of things. I don't see. With my eyes closed, I don't see, right? But I saw. So I was imagining and telling Bhante, your this place here is not clean. So the next day I went to say, Bhante, your place not clean. Then Bhante said, what do you mean not clean? Then the second day, I see something else. Daytime, not nighttime. Daytime. I go to see Bhante, interview Bhante. I must see you. Your place really not clean. But then after Bhante was telling me, he says, how do you feel when you're sitting in meditation and you have this type of sight things? I say, I feel fear. A fear of being absorbed. Like people saying that 走火入魔. You know what I mean? Something that you may have gone haywire. You may go psycho, the kind of feeling. So Bhante taught me a method in which I'm very appreciative. Until now, I'm still practicing it. He said, I've taught you to sit down and remember the cross. That's why I teach the Christian the cross. When you're sitting in meditation, what is the different 4 sections of it? And so now I still remember very well Bhante. I'm a very good disciple, a student. So I listened to Bhante, and immediately when I had got that feeling itself, I immediately put it to practice, and it works. It really brought me down to earth. And subsequently, at the night time, I managed to even come out of the fear and go for a walking meditation in the night at the hotel itself. So that is a kind of manifestation of the fear that was in my mind then. And thanks to Bhante, I managed to overcome that.
Let's give her applause. So mindfulness, I think mindfulness can help, but though actually fear, of course, is out of aversion and all these things we are going to see very soon. So the bad news is that, of course, the anger hijacks us. We are hijacked by anger. The good news, we can actually do something about it. Though biologically this is a good thing, that we are saved from not touching the stove, which is hot. Imagine you learn meditation, and then you get instruction that when you touch something, be mindfulness of hotness, and you go and touch your stove, and it's very hot. I say, hotness, 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 hotness. What will happen after 5 minutes? But with biology, with our biologic setup, as soon as you touch the stove, like this. And mosquitoes, when they bite you, wow, death is coming. You slap it as if you are slapping an elephant. So, elephant, eh? Do you have elephants here? in Singapore? No, I went to 92, there's no elephant. They have. You got from Uganda, huh? Give us our elephant. Anyway, you get the idea that actually the bad news is that actually we get hijacked, and the good news, we can do something about it. How can we do it? These are the things we are going to go through the rest of the time here. Number 1 is all of them will require mindfulness. All of it will require mindfulness. One of them is actually to prevent this even situation of aversion to arise, you have to be mindful of 6 senses. Mindfulness, mindful. These methods in my book also. In my book there, you can take a copy. Mindfulness of 6 senses. Of 6 senses. 6 senses. All right? That means testing, testing, testing. Non-testing, I want it. Testing, I don't want it. If you start getting into the mode of wanting and not wanting, wanting is going to be stingy. You're not going to share your food. And then not wanting, you're going to have aversion. So just stay with mindfulness of testing. As you are eating, you just become mindful of tasting. When you hear something, mindfulness of hearing. That's the technique I use in Uganda, because in Uganda, those days I was the only monk. Now we are 2. So every time they say, you look at a madman going to a mental hospital. Look at this Shaolin master, you know. Look at, he's coming from a mental hospital. So you know what I did? Hearing. He's a Shaolin master, hearing. I'm telling everything they're saying, I will just become aware of hearing. Oh, he's a Maasai man. Maasai is a tribe in Africa, Maasai. They're actually tall and they usually dress like this. Usually they're squares. Say, look, Maasai, hey Maasai, how are you? You see in Uganda when people talk to me, they don't know that I'm a monk. They just say, hey, where are you? Bring tax, you know. Sometimes even they ask me to present tax and all these things. So now I just become hearing, seeing. Not seeing I don't like, or seeing I like. No, avoid this. Just stay with this one, stay. That's the first thing you can do. That will take care of most of the things. Because why are we stingy? Because as we bought into the whatever we are doing and all these things, and then we infuse a sense of self, then it becomes ours. Wow, I like it. Then it emphasizes the sense of I. In fact, there's even a common saying that I like, therefore I am. Have you heard about this? I like, therefore. Therefore, that's a sign for therefore I am. I like, therefore I am. Every time there's a like, then we reinforce the sense of I. Now, are we going to go through life in a morbid way? Not have likes? Bhante, do you like tofu? No, I'm a Buddhist monk. Bhante, what do you prefer today? No, I don't like anything. Bhante, how was the sunset today? Seeing. Can we take it to the restaurant? Which kind of food do you like? Chinese food or African food? Oh, it's all the same. Same. You know, have you heard about same freak, you know? Same freak. They keep on freaking out that everything is the same. Religions are the same. Food is the same. All them is 4 elements. All these kind of things. Yes, we can use a language, what you call relative sense. On a relative level, we can say, yes, I like this food. But in ultimate sense, let us not buy into this. Are we together on this? On a relative sense, we can communicate. But ultimate sense, we know the truth that I'm testing. Okay, let's put it this way. We talk about sunset. Does the sun really set and rise? But we keep on talking about it. Let's go for sunset. Also, there's another thing we do it, and even monks will love doing it. We say today is full moon day. So let's go for our uposatha. And now, today is half moon day. Today is quarter moon day. Hey, you think the moon is always deciding to be a quarter? And after 2 weeks or so, they say, no, maybe a half. Oh, let me become full for the sake of monks. Yes, you know, sometimes the moon can negotiate, you know. So we have to learn on a relative level, the moon, just to fit in ordinary communication, conventional way, the moon is a quarter, the moon is a half, and all that. But in ultimate sense, the moon is always full. All right? So the same thing here. When somebody, I've seen people who, it's called bypass method. People who are Buddhist, they do what we call bypass method. Because they are good Buddhists, they take the Buddha's teaching in a different way. Like for impermanence. Impermanence, I tell you an example. We had a secretary from Connecticut, USA. She came to Uganda to volunteer. Every time she came, the car was so dirty. I say, why don't you wash your car? He said, everything is impermanent. This is a Buddhist. Actually, she was a girlfriend to a Christian guy who is actually working with CNN inside Africa. And this guy his car was white, imagine. But it was as clean as snow. He came to the center. The car was so clean. He didn't enter the temple because for some reason he thought Buddhists, he doesn't understand Buddhists. The girlfriend is a Buddhist, a staunch Buddhist, and had a green BMW and very dirty. So now this is what I'm saying, that we should grasp Buddha's teaching properly. Eh? And the Buddha even warned us that Buddha's teaching is like, talked about a snake. You should grasp it by head so that you can use it properly. If you grasp a snake by tail, what does it happen? It come and bite you. So teachings like love, karma, people don't handle it properly. Huh? They don't handle it properly. So when I'm telling you about like and don't like, don't say there's an African monk who came here and said don't like and don't do like that. I say be mindful of at the moment of testing, so then you can actually drop your stinginess and aversion. I hope this is very clear. All right? So another method. This is actually the second one. It's called mindfulness. Mindfulness of the mental state itself, the presence of, can I abbreviate this for S because we don't have time to write everything? But that takes care of all mental states, not only this one. In this case, is the case study of A and S and A, right? S and A. A stands for aversion, A stands for stinginess. So be aware of its presence and also be aware of its absence. Absence. What's the absence of stinginess? What did we say? Generosity. What's the absence of aversion? Metta. This looks very simple by writing it here, but in their life, is that what we do? When they say somebody make you angry, I am angry. Is that what we do? Let me raise your hand. Again, I want some people to help. Who's in deep samadhi? No, tell me when anger rises, or when stinginess arises. Oh, I'm stingy. When aversion arises, aversion is arising. Is that what we do? What do we do usually when we have anger or aversion? Tell me, raise your hand. You see here we have to distinguish two things. And once we know this distinction, then there's going to be, we have to understand what is anger or aversion. I'm just using cousins of aversion. And then the object of anger. The object of anger. Can you distinguish these two? One is anger and object of anger. If we fail to distinguish those two at the moment when we get angry, we are going to have problems. It's like when one route goes to KL, another one goes to Jerome. If we miss that one, we can go in two different directions if we miss that route. If we just skip on watching, being mindful of the presence of anger, and we just go for the object of anger, which usually we do, what will happen? Anger is going to increase. But if we go with anger, we can see it rising. We can see, you see the body is biofeedback. We can be aware of it in our chest, in our hotness, pressure, tightness in our chest, tension and all these. Then we're with anger itself. Before that, if we go with the object of anger, then we are not with anger. We are with something else, and we get more angry. We get more angry about being angry. And angry about being angry. You see, have you ever seen this in your life, whereby you get angry, and you get angry about being angry? Because we are not actually with the situation, because we go to the object. I don't know whether we have enough time, but I tell you always, if you have a car and then things are burning in your car, and somebody who actually set fire on your car, and then you just come out of the hotel, and you see the person who set fire on your car, and then this person start running, what do you do? Raise your hand. Please, what do you do?
Chase after the car.
You chase after the guy. This one. Okay. We start. You, what do you do? You go shopping. Shouting. Shouting, can it help your documents? Can it help to stop your document from burning? That's the second person. What do you do? Did you understand the analogy? You are in a restaurant. You left your car outside. It has money, credit cards, passport. And then you come out, and then you see fire starting on your car. And you see somebody who's setting fire. And then as soon as this person sees you, start running. What do? You have two choices. Save the car? Why don't you run after the person? But do we do it in life, real life? In real life, when you get angry, do you really look at the mind and say, anger is arising? For further mindfulness and bare knowledge. Oh, anger has risen so that I can have more knowledge about anger. And maybe I can continue my mindfulness. Is that what we do? Most of the time we go here, we go for the object. You. Guess what? You. 3 fingers towards you and 1 finger there. Do it. You do to your friend next to you. You. Isn't that what you do? We point others outside. And where's the anger, by the way? It's in this head. But why do we do always that one? 3 fingers pointing towards us and 1 finger pointing to others. It's true that actually the 3 fingers is telling you that, yes, look in your mind and be more mindful. That's what it tells you. But we ignore it. We keep on 1 year, 2 years. This is the scenarios. There are 2 scenarios here. Once you go for the object of anger and run after that person who burned the car, and you catch that person and come back to your car and find all your passport burned, is that good? You catch him, yeah, that's no problem. But because you have to run a long distance, and I'm a fast runner. These runners from Africa, they run very fast. It's a fast runner. You catch that person. But when you come back, you see, now you catch the person. Now you come back. What will happen? Peace of mind. You are no longer peace of mind. Pieces of mind. And pieces of mind. Pieces of mind. Yes. Yeah. So now, I do that a lot. You know, people put my lip like this. May you rest in peace. I said, no, may you rest in pieces, actually. That's a side point. Okay. Anyway, if actually you don't catch that person, what's going to happen? If you don't catch, is it not a double loss? You don't catch the person, and you come back, all your documents are burnt. How would you feel? That's why we feel a lot of the time. Most of the time, I can say 90% of the time, we fail to catch the person. We go back, we have lost peace of mind, and then we really get really angry about being angry because we cause this kind of thing. So a mindful person who practices mindfulness, we always go for the anger and try to be mindful whether it's present or when it's absent. We are together on this, I think. So let's go to number 3. Number three, have the proper attitude. Proper attitude. Proper attitude. What is a proper attitude when anger is present? What's our proper attitude? Shouting on a roof. We go and climb on a roof and we shout. That's called expression. Should we actually? So, actually there's a whole method. It's a psychological school called catharsis. I think it's Aristotle. Talks about when you get angry, punch a pillow. You just visualize Bhante is the pillow, actually, and start punching like this. Why was he wasting our time and all these things? So you really punch the pillow. It works. A lot of energy. Does it work? Well, as I told you, you lose energy, and later on you get tired, maybe for a short time, but again it comes back. You remember I told you it's like all these methods we use, which we use them on autopilot, is like having fire which is burning, and as it's slowing down, you put more firewood in order to actually to catch fire. So first it subsides a little bit, only for a few moments. It gets the new one and then burns again. So shouting, it looks like a temporary solution. Just short time, but I'm telling you, you're even getting more angry and getting more angry. And who advised you to do this? If somebody who advised you to do this is a psychologist and is telling you to express anger, he's going to keep on buying new cars, because more patients are going to come and get more angry about being angry, and then he gets more money, and you'll see very soon or later building a big house because he's creating a very big client. Because you cannot overcome anger by expressing it like this. No. Okay, what about suppression? Is it good? This is not good. What about suppression? Suppression, bottling it up, suppression. What about repression? Okay, this one doesn't work. You know, when you get angry, you say, yes, I'm a good child, I'm a good husband, a good wife. I'm not going to say anything. You seal your mouth. I'm a good Buddhist. Does it help? Raise your hand if it helps. I want to people, yes, you raise your hand. You're getting a cushion. Bottling your anger, does it really help? Whenever, you see what happens when you keep on bottling your anger? Whenever you have a disappointment and you just sit on it, after all, you sit on the Mount Everest of anger. Mount anger, okay? Mount anger. Now, what happens? You become a volcano. One day it just blows all over, and even in Singapore you'll get something. I remember recently I went to Burma for a conference, and I loved it in Singapore. I wanted actually to come at BF, but I said it's a lot of trouble, come to BF. So I stayed one night in Singapore. I went to the airport. I'm telling you, the flight, it was going to USA, it delayed for 1 hour and a half because there is a mountain in Indonesia. Sorry for our Indonesian brothers and sisters. There was a mountain in Indonesia that blew up, and there was a lot of things. I'm telling you, that caused a lot of problem because I had a connecting flight in San Francisco to go to DC. I had a problem. Even when it landed, of course, over there in USA, there was delay. But I'm telling you, a mountain, when it blows, it affects all the neighbors. Like Indonesia, Singapore also get a little bit of it. But also me from Uganda, who was flying, I had to stay on Singapore International Airport, Changi, for all this time, So don't allow yourself to be mountain anger, Mount anger. Mount anger. Not Everest. This mountain, avoid not to be mountain like this. Because you build it. You build it, and very soon you explode. Okay, another scenario. Do you want to ignore it? Whenever you get anger, you say, let me go to Uganda. Ignoring it. In other words, ignoring is like ignorance. No, when you get anger, no, I just go to vacation. When I come back, it will be over. Will it help? No, okay, we don't want those. What do we want then? I'm going to rub it. Tell me very soon what you want. Tell me, please. Yes, we are going to see that. You can actually talk. I told you you can actually do with loving kindness. You can tell the person that, when you do this. Don't tell them you made me angry, You say, when you say like this, I feel disrespected. When you do like this, people will understand. When I hear you saying like this, I feel disrespected. Then you'll understand. But you tell them you made me angry, you are choosing them. Nobody's responsible for your anger. Actually, there is nobody, I proved this one. Nobody is responsible for your anger. You are responsible for your anger. But having said that, doesn't mean that people are not triggered. They trigger you, but you have a responsibility. It's like people give you food, but you have a responsibility to eat it. You think other people have a responsibility to eat the food they cooked? Oh, no, eat for me, I want to have a break. No, you have the responsibility. They might be your father, they might be your mother, your girlfriend, boyfriend, but still the responsibility is yours to eat. To flip it around, when people trigger us, it's our responsibility to decide whether we're going to get angry or not. Are we together on this? Yes, let us take that responsibility. Never shift this responsibility. You made me angry. No, they didn't. They didn't. You think they did, but they didn't. Are we together on this? Okay, what we are doing, number 3, we are dissolving it. Dissolve. We are dissolving. Buddhists, what do? Dissolve anger with the understanding. Dissolve anger using mindfulness, sati, and all these things. Dissolve it with understanding, effort, wisdom, mindfulness. That's what dissolves. What dissolves anger is what? Mind states. Okay, if you have a piece of ice, like this, there are 2 ways of actually removing this piece of ice. You can do what? You can bring a hammer and smash it like this. Can't you do that? It will go into pieces, but not all of them will dissolve. Not all of them will dissolve. There's another way which is very smart. You don't have to use a lot of energy. Get the same piece of ice and put it outside, especially in Singapore. Because it's a causes. What are the causes and conditions for the ice? Is temperature. Temperature was lowering down, and then that's why you get the piece of ice. So in order to dissolve it, don't waste your time smashing it with a hammer. Take it in a temperature which is higher than the piece of, in fact, put it there, you don't even do anything. So what are the conditions for the rising of anger? Is unwise attention to the theme of irritation. So let us put our anger into mindfulness, into wisdom, with energy, and we have actually all this mental state on our side, which is going to dissolve. So we don't need to express it. We don't need to smash our eyes. We just have to be mindful. And mindfulness, I'm talking about right mindfulness, by the way. Because right mindfulness must have these qualities, must have this mental state, like effort. It must have wisdom. It must have also mindfulness itself. This actually what helps to dissolve these things. You ask me the ways how to deal with this, that's what you do. Number 4. You have a small board. I hope one time you get what we call a flip chart. It's better for me. Now, number 5, where to write it? Okay, let me just, no, it's okay. I can do like this. Number 4. I'll write it. Number 4 is through investigations. You start investing in terms of, this is where we're going to get to wisdom. Conditions. What are the conditions for the state to arise? I told you the condition, feeling insecurity. I told you the condition is actually paying unwise attention to the theme of irritation. Condition for presence. What are the conditions for the presence? And when also it disappears, we know, disappearing. When does aversion disappear? When there's metta, loving kindness. All right? So you know these conditions. You condition for none arising in the future. I'm using Buddha's discourses, actually. All right? This is A, B, B, C. Condition for none arising in the future is when you attain 3rd level of enlightenment. When you attain 3rd level of enlightenment, you'll never be stingy. You will never be angry. So non-arising in the future. In the future, right? In the future. So you investigate this condition. Further investigation will take you also to investigate in terms of anicca, impermanence, right? Impermanence, unsatisfactory, and non-self. All right? Okay, let's ask some question here because I've been talking a lot. Is anger impermanent or permanent? But I hear people who have been angry for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. Oh, I've been angry for 20 years because of this. I mean, it's amazing the stories we have around this stuff. And none of it is true. You can hug the memories of anger, and that's what most people do. They keep on hugging on memories of anger. So this anger, my anger. They are hugging on memories. Anger is one thing, and the memory of anger is another thing. You can do this for as long as you want, 100 years, hugging on to memories. But anger itself is gone because the mindset. So it goes from moment to moment. It's us who keeps on recalling it back. We keep on calling on and calling back. Then number 5, I think this is clear. This is insight knowledges. These are called what? Insight knowledges. Insight knowledges. Insight knowledge. Knowledges. Anicca, dukkha. Anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Right? We are together on this. Number 5. Today is my last day. We have to indulge our creativity today. No, we have another 15 minutes. You'll be fine. Okay, so the last one here in terms of this grouping, which requires, which is from the sutta itself, because I'm really looking at the sutta on the foundation of mindfulness, is called non-clinging on. Not clinging on, clinging on to this mental state, which is an aversion as I, mine, and myself. Number 5, we don't cling on to this stinginess as, like even you said that I'm a stingy person. Is it true? No, stinginess is a mind state. Why do you identify yourself with the mind state? So really, this is not theoretical. Through practicing like this, you find out that this is just mental states, and I is more of conceit, and this mind is actually craving, and these wrong views. So don't bring wrong views in this thing of this thing, because really, let's take another example. Is aversion yours? Is your aversion? Why? But it's new. Why you say no? Is it not coming from you? That's where relative language comes and ultimate language. You remember about full moon and half moon? On a relative level, yes, aversion is arising in my mind. But on ultimate level, it's just impersonal mind state. It comes due to causes and conditions. And when those conditions go, it also go out of the window. When those conditions go, you won't have anger. Am I right on this? So on one level, you can say, yes, yeah, you're angry. But in ultimate level, it's just anger rising. Due to causes and condition, it's just like when you have a matchbox. Okay, I know there's no matchbox here in Singapore. Do you have matchbox?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. But if they are not here. Okay, now I'm going to ring this bell. Listen to this. So where is the sound? Is it in the stick? Is it in this one? Is it in both? Where is the sound come? Where is the sound? Is the sound here? Or is the sound here? Huh? Where is the sound? Please help me. Okay, we take my friend there. Yeah.
It's in the space around it.
Huh?
It's in the space.
Where is sound? condition of the stick, and then I hit the bell, and the coming of the two, their sound arises. You can't say that the sound is in a stick alone. So in other words, you can't own, in other words, this state. Because in the condition for you to get angry, there must be somebody who trigger you. So in other words, you are not 100%. You are not, really, part of it is because of other person triggered you. So you cannot even own it, in other words. You think these things can own sound. Even this bell cannot own sound because the condition arises. Oh, no, but so all the time you haven't been hearing me. So you mean I have to repeat everything? There's no sound in this. We have more 5 things to go, you know?
There is.
Okay, there is, actually. Thank you very much. Okay. It's unfair to own aversion. It's unfair to have copyright of aversion. Most people have copyrights. Oh, that's too much. Anger. Is it R or what are the copyright side? Reserved, eh? Is it anger and C, like this? Most of people say anger is mine. That's what I've seen. Anger is mine. Oh, forgive, forgive. There's Buddhist teaching on forgiveness. No, I can't forgive. It's my anger. Good luck. Good luck. Get all the patent rights. It's called patent, right? Patent. And then copyrights. Copyrights. Okay? You get all that for anger, and then good luck. Good luck. So you should actually see anger is not myself, not mine, not my. So now the rest of the things are going to be easy. The rest of the things are going to be easy. The body is not big enough. Sorry. Okay, we are going to grab another sutta. Let's grab another sutta. Another sutta is sutta number 20 in Majjhima Nikaya, sutta number 20. Majjhima Nikaya, actually number 19. 19, I think. 19. It's called Vitakasatana Sutta. The sutta on how to deal with destructive thoughts. Destructive thoughts. Thoughts in Majjhima Nikaya. These thoughts are thoughts of stinginess and all these things. So number 5, number 6. The method there is replacement. What do you replace stinginess with? Replacement. I don't hear you. So are we going to be generous with our time? Are we going to be generous with our energy? Generous with our attention? You know, these days people are not even paying attention. They pay attention to Mr. Google only. So now every time they're walking, they don't pay even attention. They're going to cross the roads. It's amazing for me when I walk around and see people almost bumping into me. Like even recently, I just flew from Indonesia. Somebody got out of the airplane. I looked at her and said, which planet are you in? We have to get out of the airplane. So, Buddha saved the world. To use, we need a savior, kind of. Okay, mindfulness actually. Buddha is mindfulness too, but mindfulness, I hope it can save the world. Okay, this is very easy. Replace what? Metta. Anger with what? Anger with what? Metta. It's better with metta. It's better with what? With metta. You know what's metta? Loving kindness. Then stinginess with what? With generosity. Generosity. And what about, okay, that's it. That's what we are doing today. You can replace whatever you want. Fear, you replace it with what? Courage. Courage. And then with the delusion, you can replace it with what? With wisdom. Okay, this method is very easy. Okay, number 7. There's what we call reflection. Reflection method. Reflection method. So this reflection, what you do, you look at the future. Anger now, what are the results of this? What are the repercussions of this stinginess? Let's say stinginess. What are the danger of stinginess? Have you seen it? I read it to you in Digha Nikaya. What are the dangers? Safeguarding and all this kind of thing. A lot of problems, eh? So you reflect on the danger of aversion. What's the danger? You know the Metta Sutta? The benefits of Metta? The opposite of that, that's the danger. You don't sleep well, you don't wake up well, you don't sleep very well, you cannot gain concentration easily, you are not beloved to animals, you are not beloved to people. In fact, when you are angry all the time, when you are coming like this, people go this side. People try to avoid you all the time. So this is a danger. But the danger more also is that actually if it comes to craving and other mental states, it's also changing all the time. And all these things you can reflect. Defilement. Defilement. Defilement? Defilement. It defiles the mind. Anger defiles the mind. Stinginess defiles the mind. It's like raining. When it rains, after 1 week, when it's not raining, anytime it rains again, it just goes in the same way where the last rain caused trenches. Are we familiar with this? When it rains, you have trenches here. So then when it rains, next time it rains, rain doesn't go in the opposite direction. It just go to the weak lines where last rain was and just make it deeper even. So the same thing, mind states like anger and stinginess, the more you are stingy, next time you even become more stingy. But if you become generous, then the next time you're going to be generous. The same thing with anger. If today you get 10% anger for some reason, which you can even justify. Oh, because of this, that's why I'm angry. Next time when you get angry, it will be even more, you even be more angry. In biology, who has taken biology? It's called morphic resonance. Morphic resonance. This term is a biological term whereby self-organizing system, actually they have the ability to create, again, the same thing. Morphic resonance. Morphic. Those who have taken my biology, they can come. Resonance. Check about this term, morphic resonance. This is biology. It's biology. Okay, now, degradation. You are graded. The society grades you. Yeah, if you're a person who has too much anger, always they take you into low grade, not high grade. And you can see yourself. Number 8. Number 8 is redirection. We have 2 more to go. Redirection. Here, it works very well. We actually direct, if we are angry or stingy, as we found out in our mind is stingy, then we can direct something, our mind to something wholesome. Let's say the breath. Let's say we come back to the body and be mindful of the body. By the way, all this, you need mindfulness, right? So you say mindful replacement, mindful reflection, mindful redirection. So this is very important. So now, when you redirect your mind, actually by the time you come back, things have changed. The momentum is lost. Just like when you're talking with somebody, my friend. Let's say you're talking with somebody. You're talking to your sister, and I come. Can I talk to you? And you say, Bhante, give us some 15 minutes. I said, no, I want to talk. I'm going to Uganda today. And then I talk with you for the next 10 minutes. So by the time I finish and you go back to your sister, you can say, what were we talking about? Has it happened to you actually when you ask, what was the thread? What was the storyline? You actually lose the momentum. It's not always the same thing actually. What's very interesting. Yeah, but anyway, since you're a doctor, you know that very well, that what we call sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So one sympathetic system, sympathetic nervous system is responsible for the stress. But if you actually take your time, buy your time, and take a breath, and don't relax, and then be mindful, come to the body, and all this. So by the time you go back, now you are crossed. You are now on parasympathetic nervous system. Are you agreeing with me as a doctor? Yes. So there's actually a biological explanation for this. There's a biological explanation for this. I'll talk about morphic resonance. That's also a biological term. Huh? This is very, very important, how you cross back to this. Right? Though this is more relaxing and this is more tension. So by redirecting your mind, you are buying time to cross from sympathetic nervous system to parasympathetic nervous system. That also works. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Number 9 is retracing. 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 While reflection was going forward, this is going backward, and find out, why are you the person who has always aversion? Why are you a person who's always having stinginess? Can you find out the reason? I told you? Insecurity, financial insecurity, and all these things that we have already talked about the reason. You go back why you have aversion always. Maybe you have attachment. Attachment. Why do you have attachment? Maybe you're ignorant. Maybe why are you ignorant? Maybe why is that unwise attention? Unwise attention. Unwise attention. All right? Then actually when you're doing like this, you find the springboard. You find the root. Once you find the root of the stinginess or aversion, then you can address the root. So it helps you to actually sidestep the energy of, let's say, stinginess or aversion, and then you go to the real root. Once you find the real root, I'm attached to my ideas. Yes, I think maybe let me listen to other people's ideas. And lastly, wow, always I want to have a question, but I think it's okay. Number 10 is strong resolve, aditana. The Pali word is aditana, resolve, resolve. Making a strong resolution. I say, no, I'm always going to be a very generous person. I'm always going to have metta, loving kindness. All right? I'm not going to allow anger to be my master. This is a strong resolution that you have to do it on a daily basis as soon as you wake up. As soon as you wake up, make a resolve that I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to have aversion. And I will be kind, and I will have loving kindness and benefit other people as much as I can, as much as possible. I'm not going to be stingy. I'm going to have generosity with my time, with my energy, with my resources. So you make a strong resolve every day in the morning. What happens is that you are setting up the stage for the day. You set up the stage for the day. So you might get some triggers, but you're going to remember. As always they say, that mindfulness is not difficult, but what's difficult is to remember to be mindful. So thank you very much for listening. These are the 10 ways of dealing with stinginess and aversion and any habit, any unwholesome habit, as my sister asked me to say. Okay, last talk. The next talk is 2020. Thank you very much. You can ask a question. We have, I think, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, ask a question.
Question?
By the way, my book, I wrote this thing. There's a book there. You will find this. Don't worry. That's why I was rubbing all these things. In my book, it's there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Bhante. I'm not sure if this question can be answered in 2 minutes, but if you can't, don't worry. Don't have to.
I'll meet you in Melbourne. Don't worry.
I was really curious because you mentioned that you need to realize that there's a relative reality versus an ultimate reality. So, but what I'm wondering is how can we distinguish between what's our relative reality versus the absolute reality? When we first face things, to us, it's always going to be reality. We never question whether this is relative versus absolute.
Right.
And it's our instincts. So, I mean, you gave an example for the anger or the full moon. So the full moon being a relative reality, whereas that's not the absolute reality. That is half a moon, for example. So, like, do you have any tips on how we can distinguish between what's...
That one I can answer to you within 2 minutes. Don't worry about
that's good.
You see, these realities are mixed in the first place. They are really mixed. They're actually kind of mixed together like this. And I tell people that there are two people also, two kinds of people. Let's put people who actually stay in their reality, ultimate reality, and those who stay on relative reality. So when you separate those two people, they always have a problem. Because when it's time when they always, let's say, use an analogy of a house, this room, you can't see outside. All the curtains are closed. You can't see. People who always look at internal reality, ultimate reality alone, they are kind of closed inside. But also we have people always look on what we call a relative reality. They know that inside, they are just outside. Imagine people outside us. They don't know what's going on. They don't know all the jokes we are cracking here and all the things. So they are outside. I found out the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to sit in a window. You sit in a window. Now I'm in a window. Imagine this side is outside and this side inside. So when it comes to look at ultimate reality, when it comes to look at relative reality, now sitting in a window is practicing mindfulness, wisdom, and understanding. When you practice mindfulness, it brings you to that edge where you can open up and see what's going on in reality. Actually, what's very interesting, let me wrap this thing. Each mental state, when you do mindfulness, your answer in short is mindfulness, meditation, right? Mindfulness, meditation. So now, when you actually look at meditation, meditation requires some mental state like mindfulness, which is right? And the function of mindfulness is to protect you, to guard you from what you call, it's a guardian of the mind from mental defilement. It guards the mind. It sees things actually, because mindfulness is to be aware of what's going on in the present moment. First, you must have that awareness, what's going on in the present moment. Then there's mental factors like energy, effort, because it has to be also effort. In fact, the whole practice is called paying, let's put it away like my teacher, Bhante, paying mindfulness effort. Mindfulness means effort to understand, whatever it is. So we have this minimum. These are minimum, effort and understanding. As a meditator, you need at the minimum those three qualities of the mind. So number 2, effort. What it does, it closes unskillful states of mind, and also it opens wholesome states of mind. It opens wholesome states of mind. Now you have wisdom. Wisdom, which is the wisdom, is to see in details. The Pali word is called panya. Panya is to see in details, to see not just so much of naked eyes, but with your mind, contemplating in details. So now, with this kind of wisdom, because when we don't have wisdom, we have what we call vipallasa, which are called distortions. How we distort our mind, it's called vipallasa. It's kind of optical illusions. So now, with wisdom, how we get wisdom is to practice vipassana meditation. Passana means to see. It comes from passati, to see. And see in different ways, and not in an ordinary way, but also in various ways in terms of anicca, which is impermanence, then unsatisfactoriness, which is dukkha, there's a suffering, and then non-self, non-self. When you don't have this wisdom, what you do, you see things as permanent, permanent. You see things as happiness, happiness. You see things as self. In other words, you get deluded, right? So with these three mental factors working with us, whenever we confront a reality, we can actually discern and see for ourselves. Do I have a bottle of water? You're a medical doctor. That's very good. What's this? Okay. What's this? Now, you are not seeing according to this. You are seeing water on ordinary level. In other words, a relative reality. You are seeing water. My friend, you are seeing water. Water. Without mindfulness, then it's ultimate, relative reality. Reality. Also, with the same. No, you have attended my retreats. If we have another kind of a chemist, he's going to see this H2O. This H2O. This is true. On one level, this is true. This is water. And even in me, I want to take this water. I say, bring water. I don't say bring H2O. It has a certain level of reality, and we have to accept it. But in meditation, when we are using mindfulness, and we are using effort, and we are using wisdom, now we are going to actually open to another reality. You are the one to hold it, actually, because I want you to open to another reality. Okay? So go and sit. I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Hold that bottle. Hold that bottle. Hold it tightly. Do you see water? What do you experience? No, experience. 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 It has to be direct experience. Coolness. Coolness. Huh? Uh-huh. Okay, let's take coolness. Okay, now open your eyes. Can you see coolness? You are now tapping into the ultimate reality because I allowed you time to have mindfulness attention. And there was an effort, a mental energy. And also there was wisdom to discern that no, this is just water on one level, on another level H2O. And now coolness, this is what the Buddha's wisdom. In fact, in many ways you are going to feel hotness. You're feeling coolness because actually your temperature is higher than the bottle. But another time when I give you my cup of tea, that thing is going to change. And that thing that is going to change, you cannot see with your naked eyes. You can only experience it directly and to become an ultimate reality. So, are we going to say this is also part of water or not? It's also part of the water. In fact, when you go to dive on a diving board, first what you can do, you touch your water like this. You touch your water like this, and you say it's very soft. And you go with that kind of idea and go to the diving board, and you climb there and say, don't go there, it's too high. No, water is very soft. What will happen? You actually refuse everybody. They said, no, don't go to number 10 feet and all these things. You say, I've touched water, I have an experience of water, water is very soft. They say, okay, it's your problem. Then you dive like this on your stomach. What are you going to feel? Hardness and pain. Is that part of water? Do you access this? Do you see this? You can't see it. But can you experience? Yes. Is it a reality? Yes. But it's not on water level, as you see. Because you can't experience water, can you? You can't. You can't experience H2O. That's another reality. That's why I say, that's why we meditate, so that we can see clearly. Through meditation, then we can see anger rising. Through meditation, we can see where we are attached. Because it's a direct experience and tap into the mind itself, other than concept. When you say water, It's a concept. Everybody is an ordinary person. In fact, if there was a kid for 3 years also, will say water. Because it's ordinary concept, just like sunrise and sunset, just like half moon and all these things. So now, did I answer your question? So with mindfulness, with all these things, it allows you to sit in a window, whereby when it's time to see water, when it's time to see coolness. Thank you very much for the question. Thank you very much for the question, and that's the end.
Sadhu. Let's share merits.